In this example, you're given a circle with a diameter of 10 centimeters, and a line is drawn from the midpoint, from the center of the circle to the midpoint of chord AB, and line AB is 6 centimeters long, and you're asked to find the distance between the center point of the circle and this point here on line AB, point C. Now, because we're drawing a line from the midpoint of the circle to the midpoint of the chord, we know that this line is perpendicular to this line. So we know that this is 90 degrees. We also know that because it's the midpoint, that this distance here is going to be the same as this distance here. And we know that line AB is 6 centimeters long, so this distance here is going to be half that, which is 3 centimeters. Now we're asked to find this distance here, and we're given one other piece of information, and that's the diameter of the circle. So the diameter is going to go all the way across the circle, and it's 10 centimeters. So that means that we know that the radius halfway across is 5 centimeters. And we can draw a radius from the middle of the circle to any point on the circle. So we could draw a radius from the midpoint to this point over here, and that will be our radius. So the length of that then is going to be, well, we know the diameter is 10, the radius is half of that, so we know that distance would be 5 centimeters. What we've done here is we've formed a triangle. Not just any triangle, but a right triangle. And you'll remember when we have a right triangle and we know two of the sides, we can find the length of the third side by using Pythagorean theorem. And hopefully you remember that. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the legs of the right angle triangle, and C is the hypotenuse, which is the long side of any right angle triangle. So here, let's say this is A. Well, we don't know that measurement. We do know this one, which we could call B. From this point to this point, we know is 3 centimeters. So if we have A squared plus B squared, 3 squared, remember, is 3 times 3, so that's 9. And that's all equal to c squared, c being the hypotenuse. 5 times 5 is 25. Now, just using algebra to find out what a squared is, we can subtract 9 from both sides, and we're left with a squared equals 25 minus 9, which is 16. Once we know what a squared is, how can we determine a? Well, we just find the square root, the opposite of squaring. So we would find a is equal to the square root of 16. And hopefully you remember, it's a perfect square. The square root of 16 is 4. So this length here to this point here, this point here to this point here is 4 centimeters. And we determined that because we remembered the Pythagorean theorem, and we were able to determine a radius from this center point to this point on the circle in order to create our right angle triangle.